Alright, here we are in match 4 of the Rule of 4 tournament, and I think we had a couple little technical difficulties at the beginning, so we're already on to the third turn for Little Alex, and it's Shawn versus Little Alex, actually playing Priest versus Priest, and this is something I don't think we expected to see a lot of tonight, so this is kind of fun, and we get to have a look at Little Alex's hand here. If you watched the previous videos, you would have seen a little bit of this deck, but watching it from the inside is definitely way more interesting just to see the spread of cards he's got. And I wonder if Silver Moon Guardian is one of the better choices. And I think possibly because in this sort of format where you're playing creatures that are going to have, more than 4 health often, and some of your 4 or 5 creatures are not going to trade very well, then maybe Silver Moon Guardian isn't a bad choice because it's going to hit something. It can kill something with up to 6 health essentially. Getting that Divine Shield popped and then being able to swing it again. But right now we're seeing Drake versus Drake, and currently Little Alex has the bigger Drake. Now, if Shawn has a silence here, no, he's playing Hungry Dragon. That's right, because he's playing Dragon Priest. And he gets the best 1-drop, a 1/1. Sometimes Hungry Dragon will just drop horrible things on your opponent's side, especially stuff like, have you ever seen a Dust Devil turn up? Because they do, and if you don't have a way to kill it right away, you're going to take 6 damage on the next turn from that Dust Devil. So Hungry Dragon has interesting bit of RNG, and there are a few 1-drops that are a lot more than just like a little 1/1 or a 1/2. Sometimes you might even pull out like a Goldshire Footman, and he'll just have a little taunt that you got to deal with, and you aren't able to clear stuff in the order that you were hoping to. So... And now we see a much larger Twilight Drake with the Velen's Chosen and the healing on it. So Shawn looks like he's got a pretty dominant control right now over the board. We're going to see 1 Shadow Word Death. And I don't know if you want to use that there. Let's see, he goes for it. He just keeps the board clean in front of him. And yeah, we see some interesting basic cards in Alex's hand. He's got the Senjis, he's got the Silver Moon Guardians, and he's got Gurabashi Berserker, which actually might be a really good card in this game. You never know. It just depends if he manages to get it off and heal it up a little bit. There's a Draconid Crusher, and that card is pretty sick. When you actually have your opponent down to 15 or less health and you get to play this for 9/9, it's not like if they have 15 or less health, you're steamrolling them all the time. And when you can get that card out as a 9/9, it's such good value. It literally eats anything. It's going to kill a dragon. It's going to kill an 8/8 dragon or a Molten Giant, and it's actually going to still be alive. So Draconid Crusher is one of those cards that I think people were messing around with Dragon Synergy, and it just didn't seem fluid enough. It didn't happen sort of smoothly enough as the game progressed. And the meta right now, currently, especially in Hearthstone, is there's just so much aggro and decks are so fast that you can't afford to wait to develop your hand, to get to that mid game unless you've got a ton of control backing it up. And of course, if you have that control, you've got to be drawing that control. So here for example, like he's going to take 2 swings to the Gurabashi to kill it, and obviously he's going to go in with Draconid Crusher first, but at the same time, you got to play it a certain order. Unless he just shoots Shadow Word. Oh wow, that's right, he has Vol'jin. So Vol'jin just gets super value off that Berserker, and now he's just a little 2/2. So yeah, I think that's the play. Just heal your Crusher and just keep everything on the board. Because you cannot play spells that cost more than 4 mana, then things like Mind Control and Holy Nova and Light Bomb are not in the Priest arsenal here, so you really have to be confident that you're going to be able to get these creatures out and play them effectively with a deck like this. Okay, so now Vol'jin is more vulnerable, but at the same time, he doesn't really have any big answers here. He's going to go ahead and charge up the Spellbreaker with Velen's Chosen and hope that it absorbs a couple of creatures at least. Most likely oh no, he's going to go ahead and death it. And it's funny because, like I said, there's not a lot of cards in the Priest arsenal that are going to handle big creatures besides your 2 Shadow Word Deaths, and I don't know if it's strictly for tempo, but like how quickly do you want to play those, And we see Shadow Word Pain in Alex's hand, and that is a card that really is going to be, pretty much reserved for Sludge Belcher in a matchup like this. So let's see what he can steal. I don't think he can steal enough. He got a Ragnaros, but yep, that will do it. And Shawn is going to take that one. So we're just waiting for this game to queue up again. And okay, so we saw Shawn's Priest win that game. I believe now it's going to be the Druid. And let's see if Alex decides to stick with his Priest for another round, or if he's going to go ahead and switch up the Rogue. He does. He goes to the Rogue. Rogue versus Druid will be an interesting matchup, but I do believe that, especially in this format, it's going to favor the Druid in the long run. So we'll see if Alex can actually apply enough pressure early. With he's got some interesting cards here. I mean, Sinister Strike is just that extra 3 damage on the opposing hero that sometimes you just need to get done. And I think he throws one away and got it back, or got another one. And it'll be really, obviously, important here for the Druid to just straight up get his ramp going with some Wild Growth or possibly an Innervator too. Okay, so now we'll be able to see both decks. There we go. And I noticed it does this before. When you jump in at a certain point, it actually shows you all the cards just as it unveils them, so that way you could get a good look and make sure you see what you're looking at here. And that is a pretty big play. I mean, Alex actually does have something like an answer here, at least in the sense of turning off the power of the Emperor. And he's going to go ahead and backstab it so he knows that he can kill it on the next turn. I hope he doesn't go face. No, okay. I mean, I hope he goes face. I was worried he was going to just toss it into the Emperor there and maybe had more sinister plans of drawing into Fan of Knives so he could like Shiv Fan of Knives it. But I don't think he can afford with this deck to take too much damage. Having said that, we do know that he runs 2 anti-Killbots, and we see Onyxia in his hand, and that's a pretty interesting card. I mean, out of all the dragons, this one, same size, 8/8, real big, real heavy, going to do some damage, and occasionally it's going to just get killed. We obviously don't see Big Game Hunter in this tournament format because you can't play minions that cost 3 mana, but it's still going to have all those little whelps, and if he doesn't have a swipe in his hand, I mean, swipe would be huge value, but if he doesn't have a swipe in his hand, then those whelps could cause a problem, because they're going to be able to help clear something else up. And I do enjoy watching Alex play the Rogue deck, because it's interesting that he looks at this challenge and says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take a class that really relies on its hero power to mop up the crap that's on the board when there's really not going to be any crap on these boards. So look at this, a nice cheap Sea Giant, but it's not quite cheap enough yet. I think he's just going to throw out the taunt here. And would you have gone ahead and killed a Boombot first? Would you have killed a Boombot and taken the whatever the damage was from it, and then thrown out your taunt, or do you just want to play it this way? That's the question. So wow, he gets the whole hit from the Boombot, and that just seems like an awful lot to come back from. And yeah, he just can't heal up enough. The heal bot's not going to do it here. I'll get him to 15, but it's not enough. And I mean, between Swipe and Power of the Wild and all these other cards, I think it's just, there's no way. So that'll do it. And that is match 2, or game 2 for Shawn. And he will take this match. and we will see you in the next one.